My ex went to prison, my art made millions, and her rival taught me how to celebrate. The phone buzzed like a hornet trapped under the sheets, yanking me from that hazy space between dream and dread. I fumbled for it, eyes bleary in the pre-dawn gray of my Brooklyn loft, the kind of place where exposed brick walls whispered secrets of too many sleepless nights. Jordan's name flashed on the screen, my ex, the one who'd carved her initials into my heart with a dull knife. 3 years since she'd shattered us, and here she was, calling at 4:17 a.m. My thumb hovered, heart slamming against my ribs like it remembered the bruises she'd left behind, not just on my skin but deeper, in the places where love twists into something poisonous. I answered. "What the hell, Jordan?" My voice cracked, rough from disuse, the air thick with the stale scent of yesterday's turpentine and takeout Thai. Her breath hitched on the other end, a ragged gasp that echoed the storm we'd been. "Alex, it's bad. Real bad." Pause. A sob, muffled like she was pressing the phone to her shoulder. "They got me. Fraud. Embezzlement from the gallery. I'm going away. For years." The words landed like a sucker punch, stealing the air from my lungs. I sat up, sheets pooling around my waist, the cool hardwood floor biting into my bare feet. Outside, the distant wail of a siren sliced through the night, a New York symphony I'd once found romantic but now just felt like mockery. Jordan, the sharp-tongued curator who'd swept me off my feet at that Soho opening 6 years ago. Her laugh like champagne bubbles, her touch electric against my skin in stolen gallery backrooms. We'd been fire and fury, two queer women clawing our way up the art world's glittering ladder, bodies tangled in passion that burned too hot too fast. But the fights, God, the fights, accusations flying like shattered glass, her jealousy over my rising star, my refusal to dim it for her ego. She'd started skimming funds to fund her visionary exhibits, dragging me into the web without a word until the feds came knocking. And me? I'd walked away, or tried to, packing my canvases and my broken heart into this loft, vowing to paint my way out of the wreckage. But hearing her now, voice crumbling like wet paper, it stirred the ghost of us. The good parts, the way she'd trace my tattoos with her lips, whispering how my art made her believe in something bigger than her chaos. "Alex, please," she whispered, the line crackling with her tears. "Come see me. Before they process me." I closed my eyes, the metallic tang of fear on my tongue. "You did this to yourself, Jordan. We both did." But even as I said it, my free hand clenched the edge of the bed, nails digging into the fabric until it hurt. The main fracture line of our story. Her lies had nearly buried me too, but I'd clawed free, only to watch her fall while my own world ignited. By sunrise, the city hummed awake, horns blaring, the sizzle of street vendors firing up carts below my window, coffee brewing in the pot I'd forgotten to turn off. I stood at the easel, brush in hand, but the canvas stared back blank, mocking. That's when the email pinged. Sotheby's. My latest series, Fractured Lovers, sold out. Not just sold. Million. 8 figures splashed across headlines in Artforum by noon. Alex Rivera. From underground muse to millionaire maverick. The rush hit like vertigo, champagne wishes in a whiskey world. Reporters swarmed my stoop, flashes popping like gunfire, voices clamoring. "Alex, how does it feel rising from the ashes?" Ashes. Yeah, that was Jordan's doing, burning bridges we built together. I forced a smile for the cameras, all teeth and no soul, the weight of her call still pressing on my chest like a stone. That night, the gallery opening for my show was a whirlwind. Crystal flutes clinking, air perfumed with orchids and ambition, bodies in tailored suits brushing against mine as whispers followed me like shadows. "She's the one who dated that disgraced curator," someone hissed behind a velvet curtain. I sipped my gin, the ice clinking a lonely rhythm, pretending it didn't slice. Then she appeared, Sam Hale, Jordan's old rival from the MFA days at Yale, the one who'd always eyed Jordan's spot at the top like a wolf circling prey. Mid-30s like me with that effortless cool, cropped platinum hair catching the gallery lights, sharp jawline softened by a crooked smile, dressed in a black jumpsuit that hugged her like it knew secrets. American through and through, born in Chicago but carved in the concrete jungle of Manhattan's art scene. Curator at the Whitney now, the kind of woman who could make a room tilt just by walking in. Alex Rivera, she drawled, voice like smoked velvet, extending a hand that lingered a beat too long. Her touch was warm, steady, fingers callous from flipping through catalogs late into the night. Your work. It's raw. Like you've bled every color onto the canvas. Her eyes, green as absinthe, held mine, seeing past the gloss to the fractures beneath. I laughed, a brittle sound that echoed off the white walls. Flattery from the queen of critique? Jordan would have a field day. Sam's smile faltered, just a flicker, but I caught it. The old wound, the rivalry that had simmered since grad school. Jordan poaching exhibits from under Sam's nose, sleeping her way to deals while Sam built her empire on merit alone. Jordan, she said softly, leaning closer. The faint scent of her perfume, bergamot and leather, cutting through the crowd's cologne haze. Heard about the arrest. Papers are eating it up. A pause, her thumb brushing my wrist accidentally on purpose. But this is your night. Don't let her ghost steal it. Her words hung there, a lifeline tossed into choppy waters. We talked for hours, the party fading to a blur. Her stories of late-night installs, the thrill of discovering a new talent, mirroring my own hunger for creation. Laughter bubbled up, real this time, easing the knot in my throat. By midnight, as guests trickled out, she pulled me aside to a quiet corner alcove, the hum of the AC humming low like a shared secret. You deserve to celebrate, Alex, she murmured, her breath warm against my ear, sending a shiver down my spine that had nothing to do with the chill. Not mourn. I met her gaze, the air between us thickening, charged like the moment before a storm breaks. And if celebrating means forgetting? Her hand found my cheek, thumb tracing the line of my jaw, soft as a brushstroke. Then let's forget together. Our lips met then, tentative at first, tasting of gin and possibility, her mouth firm yet yielding, a contrast to Jordan's demanding fire. It deepened, hands roaming, the world narrowing to the press of her body against mine, the soft sigh she let out that mirrored my own. But as we broke apart, breathless, the weight crashed back. Jordan's trial loomed. My millions a hollow victory without someone to share the dawn. Sam saw it in my eyes, pulled me closer. One step at a time, artist. I've got you. Little did I know she meant it, body, soul, the works. The rivalry that once divided us would weave us tighter, teaching me that celebration wasn't erasure, but rebirth. The morning after the opening, sunlight slanted through the blinds like accusatory fingers, painting stripes across Sam's bare shoulder as she stirred beside me. Her loft in Chelsea was a far cry from my chaotic Brooklyn nest. Minimalist lines, white walls adorned with abstract prints, the faint aroma of fresh espresso wafting from the kitchen machine she'd programmed like a lover's whim. I watched her sleep, chest rising steady, that platinum crop tousle just so, and felt a pang, equal parts thrill and terror. Last night had been a revelation. Her hands mapping my skin with deliberate care. Whispers in the dark about dreams deferred. Our bodies syncing in a rhythm that felt like coming home after years adrift. She woke with a lazy stretch, green eyes fluttering open to find mine. Morning millionaire, she teased, voice husky from sleep and other exertions, rolling toward me to plant a kiss on my collarbone. The simple act grounded me, her warmth chasing away the chill of Jordan's echo. Coffee, I murmured, slipping from the sheets, the cool air raising goosebumps on my arms. As I padded to the kitchen, phone in hand, out of habit it vibrated. A text from an unknown number. Court date set. Jordan's arraignment. My stomach twisted, the bitter drip of the machine mirroring the drip in my gut. Sam appeared behind me, arms wrapping around my waist, chin on my shoulder. What's got that frown creasing your masterpiece of a face? Her fingers traced idle patterns on my hip, light as feathers but insistent. I showed her the screen. She read, sighed. A long empathetic exhale that ruffled my hair. You going? Have to. The words tasted like ash. Closure, or whatever bullshit they call it. She turned me gently, hands framing my face, thumbs brushing away an imaginary tear. Then I'm going with you. Partners in crime. Minus the crime part this time. Her grin was lopsided, disarming, And damn if it didn't crack the ice around my heart. The drive to the courthouse in Lower Manhattan was a gauntlet of gridlock, horns blaring in staccato fury, the Hudson glittering mockingly under a too-blue sky. Sam drove her sleek Audi, one hand on the wheel, the other laced with mine over the console, steady like she was anchoring me to the seat. We talked to fill the silence. Her latest exhibit on queer icons in post-war America, how my Fractured Lovers series had single-handedly revived interest in emotional abstraction. Laughter punctuated the tension, her dry wit slicing through like sunlight on fog. But as we pulled up to the imposing granite steps, flanked by metal detectors and harried lawyers in rumpled suits, the air grew heavy, scented with rain-damp stone and desperation. Reporters milled like vultures, mics thrust forward. "Alex, thoughts on your ex's downfall?" One shouted, lens zooming in like a predator's eye. Sam's grip tightened. "Ignore them. Eyes on me." She leaned in, lips brushing my temple. "You're the phoenix here, not the ash." Inside, the courtroom smelled of polished wood and old sweat, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry bees. Jordan sat at the defense table handcuffed, her once vibrant red hair dulled to rust, face gaunt under the harsh glare. Our eyes met across the room, hers pleading, mine a storm of pity and rage. The judge droned on charges read in monotone. Wire fraud, money laundering, the works. 8 years minimum. She didn't look away, even as the gavel fell, her lips forming a silent sorry that hung in the air like smoke. I bolted then, chest heaving, the echo of my footsteps pounding in my ears. Sam caught me in the hall, pulling me into an alcove, her body a shield against the world. "Breathe, Alex. In. Out." Her voice was a lifeline, hands rubbing circles on my back until the sobs subsided to shudders. The scent of her, clean soap and that bergamot edge, wrapped around me soothing the raw edges. "Why does it still hurt?" I whispered, forehead against her shoulder, the fabric of her blouse damp from my tears. "Because love's a thief," she replied, voice soft but sure. "Steals pieces even when it's gone. But look at you, millions in your pocket, a life rebuilt. That's not hurt. That's power." We emerged into the afternoon bustle, the city pulsing around us, vendors hawking pretzels with that salty tang in the air, pigeons scattering in frantic wingslaps. Sam hailed a cab, directed it to the High Line, that elevated ribbon of green threading through the concrete sprawl. We walked it hand in hand, the click of her heels on the planks syncing with my heartbeat. Wildflowers nodded in the breeze, their petals a riot of color against the rusted rails, and for the first time in days I breathed easy, the wind carrying away the courtroom's weight. "Tell me something real," she said, stopping at a bench overlooking the Hudson, the water churning lazy below. "Not the headlines. You." I hesitated, then spilled it, the fear that success was just Jordan's shadow flipped inside out, the loneliness of the canvas at midnight, brushstrokes slashing like unanswered questions. She listened, really listened, her silence a gift more precious than words. When I finished, she cupped my face, kissed me slow and deep, the world fading to the taste of her mint and promise. That night, back in her loft, we celebrated quietly. Takeout from that hole-in-the-wall dim sum spot, steam rising in fragrant curls, chopsticks clinking as we fed each other bites, laughter bubbling over spilled sauce. Her fingers intertwined with mine across the table, eyes sparkling. To rivals turned revolutionaries, she toasted with a plastic cup of cheap Prosecco, the bubbles fizzing like fireworks on my tongue. As we tumbled into bed later, bodies entwining in the dim glow of city lights filtering through the windows, I realized this was the turning. Not the millions or the prison bars, but this woman, fierce and tender, teaching me that celebration was a verb, done in whispers, in touches, in choosing joy over the ghosts. But dawn brought its own reckoning. My agent called at 6 a.m. Voice Electric. A retrospective at MoMA. Prime time slot. The art world was mine, but so were the whispers. Jordan's scandal tainting the triumph or fueling it. Sam stirred, sensing my tension, her hand finding mine under the covers. Whatever comes, we face it. Together. And just like that, the rival became my compass, pointing toward a horizon where heartbreak bloomed into something unbreakable. Weeks blurred into a kaleidoscope of spotlights and scrutiny, my life a canvas stretched taut under the glare. The MoMA retrospective prep consumed us, late nights in the warehouse space, the air thick with the musty scent of crates and fresh varnish, hammers echoing like heartbeats as we hung pieces under halogen beams. Sam was everywhere, directing installers with that authoritative lilt, her jumpsuit dusted in sawdust, sneaking kisses behind a massive triptych, her laughter a bomb against the grind. "You're a machine," I teased one evening, wiping sweat from my brow with the hem of my tee, the fabric clinging sticky to my skin. The sun dipped low outside the loading dock, painting the Hudson in strokes of molten orange. She grinned, tossing a rag my way, catching it midair with feline grace. "Says the woman who painted through a hangover once. Remember that story you told me? The night Jordan—" "Don't." The word snapped sharper than intended, hanging between us like a frayed wire. Jordan's name still evoked a flinch, a Pavlovian twist in my gut, even as Sam's presence smoothed the edges. She softened, stepping close, her hand on my arm a gentle pressure. "Hey, I'm not her. I'm the one hauling crates at midnight for you." Guilt flooded hot, and I pulled her in, burying my face in the crook of her neck, inhaling that familiar bergamot shield. "I know. God, I know. It's just, the press won't let it die." From scandal to spotlight, every article twists it like I'm the villain who profited off her fall. Sam's arms tighten, her chin resting on my head. "Let them spin. Your art speaks louder. It's not about her anymore. It's us." The word settled warm in my chest, a quiet revolution. That night, we crashed on a makeshift pallet of drop cloths in the warehouse, the city's distant rumble lulling us, the low growl of trucks on the West Side Highway, a saxophone wailing from some unseen busker. Her body curled against mine, legs tangled, breath sinking in the cool draft from the bay doors. Sleep came freighted with dreams, Jordan's face morphing into mine, canvases aflame, Sam's hand pulling me from the blaze. The opening night arrived like a thunderclap, the MoMA atrium thrumming with the elite, collectors in bespoke wool, critics with notepads like weapons, champagne flutes chiming in nervous harmony. I stood in a borrowed gown, emerald silk that hugged like a second skin, Sam's choice, heart hammering as the doors swung wide. The crowd surged, murmurs rising to a swell. "Rivera's got guts. That ex of hers, what a story. Look at the emotion in those strokes." Sam was at my elbow, resplendent in a tailored tux, her hand a secret anchor on the small of my back. "Breathe," she whispered, lips brushing my ear amid the throng. "Own this." I did, plunging into conversations, the air perfumed with hothouse lilies and expensive aftershave. A collector from Ella gushed over shattered vows, the centerpiece. A massive diptych of intertwined figures fracturing into abstract fury. "It's cathartic," he boomed, glass sloshing. "Like you've captured the soul's dirty laundry and hung it for all to see." Cathartic. Yeah. Painted in the fever after Jordan's arrest. Each slash born of betrayal's sting. But tonight, under Sam's gaze, proud, unwavering, it felt like victory, not vendetta. Then the bomb dropped. Midway through, as I posed for photos beside the installation, a reporter from Page 6 sidled up, smile shark sharp. "Alex, darling, word on the street is Jordan's appealing her sentence. Claims you knew about the fraud, turned a blind eye for your cut. Care to comment?" The room tilted, champagne turning sour in my throat. Flashes popped, blinding, the murmur swelling to a roar in my ears. Knew? I'd been blind, not complicit. Loving her had been my only crime. My vision tunneled, the urge to bolt clawing up my spine. Sam materialized, arms slipping possessive around my waist, voice steel wrapped in silk. "No comment. Alex is here for the art, not tabloid fodder." She steered me away through the gawking crowd to a service stairwell, dim, concrete scented, the echo of our heels the only sound. I slumped against the wall, breaths coming in gasps, tears hot on my cheeks. She can't. She wouldn't drag me down again. Sam knelt before me, hands on my knees, eyes fierce. She already did once. Won't happen twice. We'll lawyer up, bury this. Her thumb stroked soothing arcs, grounding me. But right now, this night is yours. Don't let her steal another second. She rose, pulling me up, our bodies aligning in the narrow space. Her tucks crisp against my silk, the press of her a promise. The kiss that followed was desperate, devouring, her hands fisting in my hair as if to anchor us both. A moan escaped me, low and needy, echoing off the walls, the taste of her lipstick, cherry and defiance, flooding my senses. We emerged later, composed, the crowd none the wiser. But the seed was planted. Jordan's shadow lengthening, threatening the light we'd kindled. As the night wound down, accolades raining, sales finalized, reviews glowing. Sam and I slipped away to the museum's rooftop, the city sprawl twinkling below like a million fireflies. "Marry me," she said suddenly, not a question but a declaration, pulling a simple band from her pocket, platinum, etched with a tiny abstract swirl. Her voice trembled just a fraction, green eyes vulnerable in the moonlight. I stared, heart-seizing. Sam. The timing. Screw timing. She slid it on, cool metal warming to my skin. Life's too short for maybes. I want mornings with you, fights and all, canvases and curations. Celebrate with me, Alex. Every damn day. Tears pricked, joy sharp as a fresh palette knife. I kissed her then, under the stars smeared by city haze, the wind whispering approval. Yes, 1,000 times. But dawn would bring appeals and affidavits, the fight far from over. Yet with her ring glinting, I knew we'd paint our future, stroke by defiant stroke. The proposal's glow lingered like afterimage, but reality crashed in with the mail, subpoena, crisp and official, stamped with the court's indifferent seal. Jordan's appeal, filed from her cell upstate, naming me as a witness. Material knowledge, it claimed, twisting our shared history into a noose. I read it at Sam's kitchen island, coffee going cold, the bitter steam curling like accusations. She's desperate, Sam said, scanning it over my shoulder, her robe slipping off one tan shoulder. Morning light haloed her, making her look like a guardian angel in silk. Lashing out because she lost. Lost me. Lost everything. The thought twisted, a fresh bruise on an old scar. We'd been electric once. Jordan and I stealing weekends in the Catskills, her fingers laced with mine as we hiked misty trails. The crunch of leaves underfoot syncing with our whispers of forever. She'd sketch exhibit layouts while I painted in plein air. The air sharp with pine and possibility. But power corrupted her. The gallery's allure turning her into a spider spinning webs of deceit, and I'd been the fly, wings singed before I flew free. Now this, a deposition loomed, lawyers circling like sharks scenting blood. Sam insisted on the best, her contacts pulling strings for Elena Vasquez, a razor-sharp attorney with a rep for dismantling fraud cases. We met in her midtown office, all glass and steel, the view a vertigo of skyscrapers piercing the clouds. Elena, a Latina powerhouse in her 40s, pearls gleaming against a power suit, leaned forward, glasses perched low. "They've got nothing solid," she assured, tapping the file. "Emails you forwarded? Clean. Your finances? Untouched. It's bluff." "But the optics," I muttered, twisting the ring on my finger, its weight a talisman. "Art world's small. Scandals stick like varnish." Sam's hand covered mine under the table, squeeze firm. "We'll polish them off." Prep was brutal, hours role-playing in Sam's loft, Elena's voice on speaker grilling me. "Did you suspect? Ever handle funds?" My answers tumbled out, voice steadying with each pass, the scent of takeout falafel grounding the anxiety. Nights ended tangled in sheets, Sam's body a refuge, her murmurs against my skin. "You're unbreakable." Chasing nightmares of courtroom cross-exams. The deposition day dawned gray. Rain sluicing down windows like tears the sky couldn't hold. The federal building in Foley Square loomed, columns stark against the downpour, puddles splashing under tires as our cab pulled up. Sam kissed me fierce in the back seat, rain pattering on the roof like impatient fingers. "Truth's your armor. I've got the rest." Inside, the conference room was sterile. Long oak table, SE humming cold, the stenographer's keys clicking like tiny gunshots. Jordan's lawyer, A weaselly man with slicked hair and a pinstripe suit started soft. Timelines exhibit budgets. Then the knife. Ms. Rivera, intimate partners share everything. Didn't Jordan confide in you about creative accounting? I swallowed, throat dry as dust. Intimate doesn't mean complicit. She hid it. From me, from everyone. My voice held, but inside the old hurt bloomed, betrayal's thorn twisting anew. He pressed, photos of us at galas flashed on a screen, my arm around her waist, smiles frozen in time. Looks cozy. Motive to protect her. Sam, observing from the corner, leaned forward, eyes narrowed. But I met his gaze steady. Motive? To build my own path. Away from her lies. Hours dragged, the air thickening with tension, my blouse sticking damp to my back. When it ended, Elena nodding approval as we filed out, the relief hit like surfacing from depths, lungs burning sweet. Outside, the rain had eased to mist, sidewalks slick and shining. Sam waited on the steps, umbrella in hand, pulling me under it without a word. We walked to a nearby diner, the bell jingling cheerful as we slid into a booth, vinyl creaking under us. Blueberry pancakes, she declared, menu slapped down. Victory fuel. The waitress, a no-nonsense woman with a Brooklyn accent thick as gravy, poured coffee steaming black, the aroma rich and forgiving. As syrup dripped golden, we decompressed, her recounting my ice queen stare at the lawyer, me laughing till it hurt, the sound bubbling free like I'd forgotten how. Forked tines scraped plates, rain tapping the window, a soft applause. You were magnificent, she said, foot hooking mine under the table, playful nudge. Team effort. I leaned across, kissing her sticky sweet, the diner hum fading to our private world. But the appeal dragged on, leaks to the press painting me as the enigmatic ex. My millions tainted by association. Gallery invites dried up, whispers at openings turning to stares. One night, post a tepid panel at the new museum. The air stale with projector hum and folding chairs. A tipsy collector cornered me in the lobby. Heard your poison now, Rivera. Jordan's curse. Rage flared, hot and immediate. I spun, words loaded, but Sam was there, inserting smooth. Poison? Nah, that's vintage. Alex is the rare label everyone's chasing. She steered him away, charm deployed like a shield, then turned to me, brow arched. Deep breaths, love. Bullies thrive on bites. Back home, frustration boiled over. I hurled a sketchbook across the room, pages fluttering like wounded birds. It's endless. Every step forward, she yanks me back. Sam caught the book midair, set it down gentle, then cupped my face, thumbs tracing jawline. Then we yank harder. Together. Her kiss was fire, urgent, claiming. Hands roaming until clothes pooled forgotten. Bodies colliding on the rug in a frenzy of need. Gasps mingled with the city's night chorus. Her name a mantra on my lips. Release crashing like waves, leaving us spent and stitched closer. In the afterglow, curled against her, sweat cooling on skin, she traced my tattoos, swirling vines from our early days, inked in a East Village parlor to the buzz of needles and classic rock. We'll counter, she murmured. Public statement. Your truth. The next week we drafted it. Me at the keyboard, fingers flying, Sam editing with red pen slashes. Released via my publicist, it went viral, raw, unfiltered. I loved her once. Survived her. Thrived beyond. Art heals. Lies don't. Backlash and support flooded in, a tidal wave, but the tide turned, invites resumed. A TEDx slot on resilience in creative spaces. Jordan's appeal crumbled weeks later, judge tossing it for lack of evidence, her final bit a whimper in legalese. The call came during a studio session. Brush paused mid-stroke, cerulean dripping onto drop cloth. Relief washed clean, no tears this time. Just a long exhale, Sam's arms wrapping from behind, chin on shoulder. Free, she whispered, nuzzling my neck. Not quite, but closer. That night we celebrated proper, rooftop at the Standard, skyline aglow, jazz trio crooning low. Her hand in mine, ring-catching lights, we danced slow under strings of bulbs, bodies swaying to saxophone sighs. To endings, she toasted, glasses clinking. And beginnings, I added, heart full. The rival had schooled me well. Celebration wasn't absence of pain, but presence in joy, chosen fierce hours. Summer sweltered in, the city a steam bath of asphalt shimmer and ice cream truck jingles, but our rhythm held steady mornings tangled in sheets, coffee shared black and scalding, afternoons split between my studio's chaos and her office's precision. The retrospective success snowballed. A European tour inked Berlin and Paris galleries clamoring, my name etched in lights from MoMA to the Tate. Yet beneath the buzz a quiet built. Sam's glances lingering, her touches more deliberate, like she was memorizing me against some unspoken clock. One sticky August evening we escaped to Fire Island, her idea a reset, in the queer haven off Long Island, pines whispering secrets to dunes. The ferry chugged across choppy bay, salt spray stinging cheeks, gulls wheeling overhead with raucous cries. Her hand gripped the rail beside mine, wind whipping her hair wild. "Remember your first Pines party?" she shouted over the engine's roar, grin mischievous. I laughed, the memory sharp. 25 wide-eyed, Jordan dragging me to a beach bonfire, bodies painted glow-in-dark, bass thumping from speakers half buried in sand. We'd danced till dawn, sweat slick and euphoric, her lips claiming mine amid the crush. How could I forget? You were there, glaring daggers from the sidelines. Rivals even then. She bumped my shoulder, eyes dancing. Thought you were wasted on her. The house was a weathered shingle cottage, rented last minute, screens creaking against mosquito hum. The ocean's rhythmic crash a lullaby through open windows. We unpacked to the sizzle of grilled corn on the porch, charcoal smoke curling lazy, stars pricking the velvet sky. Dinner stretched lazy. Lobster rolls from a shack down the lane, buttery and briny, sand gritting between toes as we ate cross-legged on the deck. Talk turned deep as the tide pulled out, exposing shells in moonlight. Sam swirled her wine, legs tucked under, voice soft against the waves. "My mom called yesterday. From Chicago. Wants to meet you. Officially." My fork paused, mayo smeared. Her family, staunch Midwest Catholics, she'd said once over late-night ramen. The ones who'd frozen her out when she came out at 17, prom dress traded for a leather jacket and a one-way bus ticket to art school. "You sure?" "Last time." She was polite. "Progress." A shrug, but her eyes betrayed the ache, green depths flickering vulnerable. "You're it for me, Alex. Worth the bridge burning." Emotion swelled thick in my throat. I set the plate aside, crawling to her, knees sinking into weathered boards. "Then let's burn 'em all." Our kiss tasted of sea salt and Sauvignon, deepening as hands explored. Her blouse unbuttoned slow, revealing freckles like constellations, my fingers tracing ribs that rose quick under touch. We made love on the porch swing, creak of chains punctuating gasps, the night air cool on heated skin, ocean roar drowning our cries. Afterward, wrapped in a throw blanket frayed at edges, her head on my chest, heartbeat steady under my palm, she whispered dreams. A joint exhibit, our worlds fused, my paintings her curation. Rivera Hale. Love in layers. The words lodged warm but sleep brought shadows, dreams of Jordan's cell, bars clanging, her voice echoing accusations across the bars. I woke sweating, moon high, Sam's arm heavy across my waist. Slipping free, I wandered to the beach, sand cool and yielding underfoot, waves lapping tentative like confessions. She found me at dawn, silhouette against peach-streaked horizon, coffee mug steaming in hand. Rough night. Mug pressed warm into my palms, her free hand brushing hair from my eyes. Ghosts. I sipped, bitter comfort chasing chill. Jordan's appeal dying. Should end it. But what if she writes a book? Spills everything, twists it. Sam sat beside, knees drawn up, toes digging furrows in wet sand. Then we write ours first. Memoir. Your voice unfiltered. Her shoulder nudged mine, solid. Turn poison to power. Again. The idea ignited, spark to dry tinder. Back in the city it consumed us. Outlines scribbled on napkins at diners, the clatter of keyboards in tandem, her red pen a loving critic. Chapters poured. Our whirlwind with Jordan, the fracture, the forge of millions and prison walls. But woven through us, rival to lover, the slow burn of trust rebuilt. Harvest came with crisp air nipping cheeks, leaves carpeting sidewalks in crimson drifts. The book deal landed over brunch at Sarabeth's, pumpkin pancakes fluffy, maple syrup pooling golden, agent's email pinging triumphant. Knopf 6 figures, title brainstormed on the spot. Canvas of scars. Celebration spilled into the streets, hand in hand through Central Park. The crunch of foliage under boots. Vendors hawking roasted chestnuts with that smoky sweet scent curling inviting. We fed each other bites, laughter echoing off bare branches. Her wool scarf borrowed, oversized, wrapping us both in shared warmth. But cracks spidered subtle. Sam's late nights mounting, whispers on calls she brushed off as bored politics. One November eve, rain lashing windows like judgment, I found her at the kitchen table, laptop glow harsh on her face, emails open, rejections from co-curator bids, a rival gallery poaching her star artist. "You're pushing too hard," I said, setting tea steaming beside her, chamomile's floral hush cutting the storm's howl. She rubbed temples, lines etched deep. "Can't stop. Not when we're this close." Her smile was tired, forced. "Our exhibit. It's everything." I knelt, hands on her thighs, denim rough under palms. "We. Not just the work." Kissed to knee, then rising to claim her lips, soft, yielding but edged with distraction. Making up was fervent, bodies urgent on the couch, cushions yielding to thrusts and sighs, rain drumming counterpoint. Release left us panting, but the seed of unease sprouted, ambition's double blade cutting deep. December frosted the city in glitter, holidays twinkling frantic. Her family's invite arrived. A tense dinner in Chicago, plane tickets tucked in a card with scrawled, "Proud of you, Mom." Sam's eyes misted reading it, first thaw in years. We flew out Christmas Eve, the cabin pressurized hum lulling. Her head on my shoulder, fingers laced tight. O'Hare's chill bit as we deplaned, snow flurrying fat flakes. The drive to her childhood home a blur of iced highways and classic rock on the radio. The house was ranch-style, lights strung cheerful, wreath red against white siding. Her mom, Edna, silver-streaked bun, apron flour-dusted, hugged awkward, pat on back stiff. Dad grunted hello from his recliner. TV murmuring football cheers. Dinner was pot roast, carrots fork tender, gravy rich, but conversation skirted edges. Weather Sam's fancy job. My paintings and papers. Under the table, Sam's foot hooked mine, anchor in the undertow. Dessert brought the thaw. Pie a la mode, scoops melting slow, Edna's voice softening. "Saw your show online, Samantha. Beautiful." Pause, fork scraping plate. "And Alex. Thank you. For making her smile like that again." Tears pricked Sam's eyes, hands squeezing mine till knuckles whitened. The drive back to the hotel was silent, cathartic. Snow muffling the world, wipers swishing rhythmic. In the room overlooking the loop's neon pulse, we undressed slow, reverent. Her blouse unbuttoned to reveal lace, my sweater tugged off to bare ink. Bed dipped under weight, bodies aligning in worship. Lips on collarbones, fingers delving deep, gasp syncing with the city's distant horns. "Love you," she breathed, climax cresting like fireworks, leaving us adrift in aftershocks. New Year's dawned, resolutions whispered in bed, sheets tangled. Back in New York the exhibit loomed. Venue secured, pieces shipped. But tension simmered. Her snapping at installers, me retreating to canvas, brush strokes slashing angry. Climax brewed at the dress rehearsal, warehouse echoing with arguments. Her demanding tweaks, me defending vision. "It's my art," I shouted, voice cracking raw. "And my curation," she fired back, eyes flashing hurt. Silence fell heavy, breaths ragged, the air thick with unsaid fears. I crossed the space, hands framing her face, thumbs wiping tears. "We're a team, not rivals." Kiss soft, apology in every press. She melted, arms wrapping fierce. "Scared I'll lose you to this." "Never." Promise sealed in renewed passion. Bodies healing on the concrete floor. Echoes fading to moans. The opening was magic, crowds rapt, sales soaring, reviews raving, a lesbian love letter to resilience. Amid the whirl, Sam's hand in mine, we toasted, To scars to celebrations earned. But deeper currents stirred. Jordan's parole hearing on horizon. A letter arriving, penned in her looping script. Forgive me. Let me see your light one last time. The past knocked insistent. Would we answer? Winter's grip loosened grudging, crocuses poking defiant through slushy parks, but Jordan's letter lingered like frostbite. A crisp envelope on the mantel, unopened for days, its weight pulling at the corners of our peace. Sam spotted it first, over morning yogurt in chipped bowls, spoon pausing midair. You gonna read it, or let it fester? I traced the rim, paper crinkling soft under thumb. What if it's more poison? Then we flush it. Her tone was light, but eyes held worry, green shadowed by late nights fine-tuning the exhibit catalog. She leaned across the table, kiss landing feather-soft on my temple. Your call though. Always. That afternoon, alone in the studio, turpentine sharp in nostrils, sunlight slanting golden across half-finished abstracts, swirls of crimson and indigo evoking bruised hearts. I slid it open. Her words spilled elegant, slanted. Regrets ink deep, admissions of love twisted to obsession, a plea for visitation. I see your triumphs from in here, Alex. They hurt, but they heal me too. 1 hour. No expectations. Tears blurred ink, a sob catching raw in throat, the ghost of her laugh echoing, mingled with the tick of the wall clock, steady as regret. I folded it away, chest aching hollow but a seed cracked. Forgiveness, not for her but for me. Sam came home to find me at the easel, brush idle, paint drying tacky. Read it, she asked, shedding coat, snowflakes melting on shoulders. Yeah. Voice thick, I turned, pulling her close, her wool sweater rough against cheek, heartbeat thrum steady. Visit. With you there. Pride flickered in her eyes, hand cupping nape. Damn right. The prison upstate was a gray monolith, razor wire glinting cruel under February sun. The drive a winding scar through bare hills, pine skeletal against sky. Sam's Audi hummed steady, radio murmuring indie folk, guitars plucking melancholic, as her hand rested on my thigh, thumb circling soothing. Boundaries, she reminded, voice calm anchor. In and out. Your terms. Visitation room smelled of bleach and despair, tables bolted to linoleum scuffed dull. A guard's boots thudding periodic. Jordan entered shackled, jumpsuit orange harsh on her pallor. Red hair cropped short, practical. Our eyes met, hers wide, startled, mine wary but open. Alex. Her whisper cracked, chains clinking as she sat, hands splayed flat like surrender. You came. With backup. I nodded to Sam across the table, her presence a wall of quiet strength, fingers laced with mine under the edge. Jordan's gaze flicked, softening. Sam Hale. The better choice. No venom, just fact, a sigh escaping long. I deserved this. The lies. They started small, snowballed. Thought I was protecting us. Us ended when you chose fraud over truth. Words steady but ache lingered, old wound probed gentle. She nodded, tears tracking silent. I know. Watching your rise. It's my redemption in a way. Your art. It's alive because you broke free. Pause, voice dropping. I'm sorry. Truly. No strings. Air lightened, chains weight symbolic now. Apology accepted, I said, squeeze from Sam's hand bolstering. Heal, Jordan. From in here. Time ticked, 30 minutes of fractured talk. Shared memories burnished soft, no blame, just release. As buzzer sounded, she stood, chains rattling final. Celebrate for me too, Alex. You deserve it all. Outside, wind whipped sharp, carrying away the institutional chill. Hills rolling, green-tinged promise. In the car, silence companionable, Sam's hand finding mine anew. Proud of you, she murmured, engine purring to life. Back in the city, spring uncoiled tentative. Tulips unfurling in window boxes, the air sweet with thaw. The memoir launch party packed Sam's gallery, air humming electric. Canapes crisp, wine flowing ruby. Guests in spring linens milling amid stacked books, covers embossed bold. I read excerpts, raw voice trembling on the betrayal passages, steadying to joy's crescendo, crowd wrapped, applause crashing warm. Sam watched from the wings, Tuck's sharp eyes shining. Post-reading, she pulled me to the stockroom. Shelves of wrapped frames looming shadowy, the door clicking shut muffling cheers. "That was you," she breathed, backing me against cool plaster, hands roaming possessive. "Unfiltered fire." Kiss ignited, urgent, teeth grazing, fingers deft on zippers, skirt pulling silk at ankles. We moved frantic, her against shelves, my name gasped low amid creaks and sighs, release shuddering, shared, sweat slick and spent. After adjusting clothes rumpled, she pressed forehead to mine. "Marry me proper? Vows, cake, the works." Heart soared. Yes. All in. Wedding planning bloomed chaotic joy. Venue hunt in the village, cobblestones echoing laughter. Her mom's calls thawing warmer. My queer chosen family roving for dresses in boutiques scented lavender. But undercurrent tugged. Sam's exhaustion mounting, dark circles blooming. Her just a cold cough lingering raspy. One May morning, sunlight pooling on quilts, she woke pale, shivering despite fever. "Doctor," I insisted, hand cool on brow. Clinic wait was sterile hush, magazines dog-eared. The doc's words landing soft bomb. Exhaustion but tests for more. Biopsy next week. Fear coiled icy, her hand clammy in mine as we cabbed home. Horns blaring oblivious. "It's nothing," she insisted, voice brave crack. "We've beaten worse." But night stretched anxious. Me holding her through chills, broth steaming herbal, whispers trading I love yous like talismans. Results day dawn storm-lashed. Rain sheeting windows frantic. Phone rang mid-sip of tea, bitter on tongue, benign. Shadow not storm. Relief crashed, sobs mingling with rain's patter, her arms crushing tight. "We're good," she gasped, kiss salt-streaked. Summer wedding on Fire Island dunes, barefoot. She in linen suit crisp, me in flowing white, waves crashing applause. Vows exchanged under arch of driftwood and wild roses, petals scattering on breeze, her ring sliding home beside mine, simple bands entwined. Reception bonfire crackled, marshmallows toasting gooey, laughter ringing as we danced barefoot, sand gritting joyful, stars wheeling overhead. "To rivals," she toasted, more sticky fingers clinking glasses. "To teachers," I countered, pulling her close, body swaying to unseen music, ocean sighing eternal. Jordan sent a card post. "Congrats, ink neat. No return address needed. Forgiveness complete. Circle closed." Our life unfolded layered. Exhibits co-curated. Her hand guiding mine on canvases. Millions funding a foundation for queer artists rising from ashes. Celebration became habit. Sunrise coffees, midnight sketches, love's quiet roars. In the end, the ex's prison forged my freedom. Art's millions built bridges, and her rival? She taught me celebration was the art of living, fierce, flawed, forever ours. The honeymoon haze lifted slow, like watercolor bleeding into paper. Our Fire Island idyll stretching into a lazy fortnight of salt-crusted skin and shared silences on porch swings. Back in Manhattan, the city welcomed with autumn's crisp bite. Leaves skittering across Washington Square like confetti from our vows. The air laced with roasting nuts from carts and the faint rot of fallen fruit. Life slotted seamless. Mornings with Sam curating breakfast playlists. Nina Simone's velvet growl over scrambled eggs fluffy. Afternoons me in studio, turpentine tang sharp. Her popping in with lunch from the deli, pastrami on rye greasy heaven. But the foundation launch loomed, our joint baby. Rivera Hale Resilience Fund. Seed money from my windfall, mission uplifting queer creators sidelined by scandal or strife. First event. A gala at the Whitney, Sam's turf, chandeliers dripping crystal, gowns swishing silk against tuxes. Prep was frenzy, invites gold embossed, menu tastings of seared scallops buttery, her clipboard a shield as vendors quibbled. "You're glowing," I teased one dress rehearsal, zipping her into emerald velvet that hugged like envy mirror reflecting us twinned, platinum and auburn mingling in the glass. She turned, hands framing my waist, eyes mischief lit. "Blame the wife." Kiss landed playful, lipstick smudging cherry, but lingered deep, hands wandering till fittings forgotten, seamstress coughing discreet from the hall. Gala night hummed electric, donors mingling amid Basquiat's loaned bold, Champagne fizzing effervescent. Toasts clinking to new chapters. Sam emceed flawless, voice carrying warm over the crowd. From fractures to futures, this fund is our canvas. Applause swelled my chest-tight pride, her gaze finding mine across the room. A wink private promise. Post-speech we slipped to the sculpture garden. Night air nipping cool. City lights twinkling distant. Bench creaked under us, her head on shoulder, sighs content. We did it, she murmured, fingers tracing our rings, metal cool link. Yeah. But under joy a whisper. The foundation's first grantee, a young painter named Riley. Mid-20s, non-binary, eyes haunted by family disownment. Her portfolio raw genius, story echoing mine too close. We'd awarded the grant over Zoom, her voice cracking thanks. But now in person at the gala, Riley hovered shy, paint-flecked jeans clashing with the polish. Alex Rivera? They approached later, voice tentative. Hands twisting a napkin shredded fringe. Your work saved me. That night I almost quit. Fractured lovers screamed back. Keep going. Emotion choked, I pulled them into hug, awkward but real. Sam's arm joining, trio knit brief. Pay it forward, she said soft, and Riley nodded, tears glinting. Midnight brought the after-party at our loft, inner circle spilling in. Corks popping magnum sharp, laughter echoing off brick. Queer family. My tattooed aunties from the village, Sam's Yale crew with dry wit. Riley included, sketchpad out capturing candid chaos. We danced kitchen tile, her body pressed close, hips swaying to Prince's falsetto, sweat beading despite October chill seeping windows. But dawn crept, guests trickling out, coats clutched, leaving wreckage of glasses and confetti. Sam and I collapsed couchward, her feet in lap, massage thumbs digging knots. One down, she yawned, eyes heavy-lidded. World to go. Kiss to instep, her giggle bubbling. Winter whispered early, first snow dusting ledges like powdered sugar. The foundation humming. Grants dispersed, workshops and community centers reeking of fresh clay and hope. Sam's role expanded, her calendar a battlefield of meetings, but she carved us sacred. Friday escapes to the Met, wandering galleries hand in hand. Her curator I dissecting Rembrandts while I sketched her profile quick, pencil whispers on pad. Tension brewed subtle. A bored squabble over budgets, her voice rising sharp on calls. We can't compromise vision. I'd eavesdrop from studio, brush pausing mid-air, worry coiling. One blizzard night, winds howling wolfish against panes. She stormed in late, cheeks flushed frost, shedding boots slushy. Rough. I ventured, mulled wine steaming cinnamon on stove. Idiots. She paced, hands raking hair. Want to cut the youth program. Say it's risky. Anger flared, shared. Over my dead body. I pulled her down, wine sipped from shared mug. Her body melting against mine on the rug. Fire crackling, hearth warm. Talk turned strategy. Op-ed for the Times, her drafting fierce, me editing tender. Published to splash, it rallied donors, board buckling. Victory tasted like vindication. Celebrated with takeout Thai spicy numb. Chopsticks clacking as we fed bites. Laughter thawing the storm outside. Spring bloomed riot. Cherry blossoms papery pink in the park. Our first anniversary sneaking up. Fire Island redux, but with vows renewed impromptu on the beach. Waves lapping ankles cold, her words. Still my rival, always my heart. Letters from grantees piled tender. Riley's first solo show, a thank you card inked rainbow. Jordan's updates sporadic, parole granted early, good behavior. A job at a upstate co-op, her note brief. Grateful for the space you gave. Healing rippled outward. But summer scorched, heat wave baking streets wavy, and Sam's cough returned, dry hack rattling quiet moments. Allergies, she waved off, but doc visits mounted, scans whirring tube confined. Verdict landed gentle hammer. Early stage, treatable but chemo loomed shadow. Her hand in mine, sterile room beeping monitors. We'll fight, she rasped, grin crooked brave. Months blurred battle. Infusions dripping slow, her hair shedding platinum wisps to pillow. Me shaving at buzzclothes in bathroom steam. Clippers humming intimate. Nights cradled her frail form, whispers trading stories, her Chicago girlhood bikes on cracked pavement, my first queer kiss under stadium lights, fireflies winking. Remission whispered spring next, tests clear, hair regrowing stubborn curls. Foundation gala redux, her tux loose but eyes fierce, toasting to survivors all kinds. We danced garden under stars, her weight full against me again, breath sinking perfect. Taught me celebrations the real art, I murmured, cheek to hers. Rivals forever, she replied, kiss sealing eternal. Life layered on, exhibits global, our home a haven of canvases and catalogs, love's quiet crescendo. From prison's echo to millions' roar, her rival's lesson endured. Celebrate not despite the scars, but through them, painting joy bold. The remission rally ignited a blaze. Sam's energy supernova, her curls sprouting wild like she dared the universe to try again. Our loft a whirlwind of half-packed suitcases for the Berlin leg of the tour. Airport dawn was chaos soft. Security lines snaking endless, coffee vending bitter sludge, her hand laced mine through the scrum, thumb rubbing absent arcs. Paris next, she plotted, boarding pass crinkling, eyes alight scheming exhibits over croissants flaky. Berlin greeted gray and graffiti splashed, our hotel a converted warehouse in Kreuzberg. Beams exposed raw, beds sagging plush under jet lag weight. We wandered cobbled streets, currywurst steaming sausage scented stands, her laughter bubbling over Berlin Wall remnants, fingers tracing cold concrete scarred history. Gallery opening thrummed underground. Queer crowd tattooed and pierced, my pieces hung stark under strobes, sales whispered in euros crisp. After party spilled to a dive bar. Beer foam sticky rings on scarred wood. Her body grinding close to techno throb sweat slicks slide. Feel alive, she shouted over bass, lips brushing ear hot. With you? Always. Pull into shadowed booth, kiss devouring, hands bold under table, world narrowing to pulse and press. Paris was fever dream. Seine glittering under bridges arched, our atelier apartment attic sloped, skylight framing Eiffel winking. Exhibit at Centre Pompidou drew throngs. Critics cooing French lilts, champagne bubbling pale. Sam's curation lauded seamless. Nights we picnicked Luxembourg gardens, baguettes crusty with brie runny. Her head in lap as I read Proust aloud, mangled accent, laughter peeling free. Back stateside, fall gilded edges, the foundation's second cohort. Diverse faces beaming at orientation. Air humming fresh paint and ambition. Riley mentored now, their voice confident guiding sketches. A full circle that pinched tears. Sam's board seat solidified, her op-ed syndicated sharp, but home anchored. Thanksgivings raucous with family, her mom's turkey dry but hugs warm, my auntie's pies lattice crisp, toast slurring sentimental. Winter solstice brought quiet magic. Cabin rented Adirondacks, snow blanketing pines hush, fireplace roaring logs pop spit. We hiked trails crunching boot deep. Her mittened hand swinging mine, breaths clouding white. Evenings, cocoa mugs steaming marshmallow, stories swapped by fireglow. Her Yale rivalries fierce, my Jordan nights electric torched. One eve, aurora faint green smeared sky. Rare southern fringe. She pulled me out bundled, blankets dragged porch, bodies cocooned close. Look, she breathed, fingers pointing ethereal dance. Like our scars, beautiful in the dark. Tears froze lashes, kiss traded slow, stars witnessing vow silent. New Year dawned, resolutions light. Travel paired, wellness woven. Yoga mats unrolled, dawnlit. Her poses graceful cat-cow, mine wobbly tree, giggles collapsing us heap. Foundation milestone hit. Million granted, impact rippling. Grantees show spotlighted, stories in mags glossy. But spring unearthed old root. Jordan's parole full. A coffee invite neutral. Catch up, no drama. Sam deferred wise. Your ghost to lay. We met neutral, Brooklyn Cafe, espresso grinding bean sharp. Her across Formica, civilian jeans faded, smile tentative. Talk skirted shallow. Her co-op pottery wheel thrown lopsided. My book tour anecdotes. Deeper dip gentle. Proud of you, she said, stirring foam heart-shaped. The fund. It's what I couldn't give. Growth, I replied, steam warming palms. Yours too. Parting hug brief, bone-deep release, past shelved kind. Summer scorched lazy, Hampton's house share with friends, beaches dune-fringed, waves crashing foam white, her in bikini faded, building sandcastles absurd with moats and flags toothpick, bonfires night, marshmallows charred goo, guitars strumming Dylan raspy, her voice joining harmony off-key sweet. Anniversary 3rd. Vow renewal intimate, just us on dune crest, sunset bleeding orange, words whispered wind-tossed, still choosing you every fracture. Fall harvested bounty, exhibit joint at MoMA, our names plated brass, opening whirl of flashes and flutes, her arm linked possessive whispers ours amid cheers. Winter wrapped cozy holidays hybrid. Chicago for her kin, turkey carved awkward but grace said inclusive, then village bash queer. Drag queens lip syncing Mariah Belty, eggnog spiked rum warm. Spring bloomed legacy. Foundation scholarship named Hale Rivera Hope. Riley first recipient, their speech tearjerk. You showed me scars shine. Sam's eyes glisten beside me, hand squeeze fierce. Our mark. Summer circled full. Fire Island annual now tradition. Porch swing creek. Ocean sigh bodies entwine dusk. Her breath ear hot. Forever's just starting. Through prison's forge millions flood rivals revelation. Celebration etched soul deep. Love's truest masterpiece. Years layered like glazes thick. Our life a palimpsest. Old strokes visible faint beneath new vibrance. The fund burgeon non-profit empire. Chapters sprouting coast to coasts. Grantees walls papered testimonials handwritten raw. Sam's Whitney tenure crested director. Boardrooms her arena suits tailored sharp. But home she shed armor. Curling cat-like on couch. Feet in lap for rubs indulgent. My studio expanded loft adjacent. Walls knocked open sun flooded. Apprentices shadowing brushwork. Their questions eager echoing my hungry youth. Nights we debriefed over dinners improvised. Pasta twirled fork high, sauce tomato basil simmered slow. Wine reds decanted breathing. 10th anniversary loomed milestone surprise plotted. Vow renewal grandeur queer icons invited. Writers, activists, voices thundering panels past. Venue. Stonewall rebuilt. History humming walls scarred. Planning frenzy joyful. Invites calligraphy flourished. Menu rainbow charred salads crisp. Her dress shopping yielding lace ivory. Mine velvet midnight hugging curves. But undercurrent tugged. Her cough dormant dragon. Rasping midnight wakes. Check up. I urged gentle. Hand cool on back sweat damp. Doc's office hummed fans were. Scans whirring tube echo verdict whisper. Recurrent stealthy spread. World tilted sterile air choking her grip vice white. Fight again, she rasped, eyes steel despite pallor. Battle redux brutal ballet. Treatments advanced, targeted, side fierce but shorter. I shaved her head anew. Clippers buzz intimate. Kissing scalp stubble soft. Friends rallied. Meals delivered steaming. Riley sitting vigils sketching portraits bedside tender. Remission second tasted sweeter. Confetti to chemo's gray. Recovery woven slow. Walks park tentative her arm looped mine. Benches claimed for rests. Birds cheeping cheerful. Grateful, she murmured leaf crunch underfoot. For every breath shared. Anniversary dawned perfect. Stonewall aglow garlands. Guests thronging diverse. Tattoos and tiaras mingling. Toast sloshing heartfelt. Vows renewed stagelit her voice clear. Through fires reforged I choose you eternal. Mine choked. Rival turned revelation my canvas complete. Dance floor pulsed her body strong against mine. Hips sync to DJ spin. Disco old school thump. Laughter bubbling sweat sweet. Midnight rooftop escape city sprawl firefly her ring glint hand raised. To decades more. Legacy bloomed. Fund global now chapters Tokyo to Toronto. Our story textbook. Panels keynote. Her charisma undimmed. My art touring vans painted murals rolling. Jordan faded footnote. Wedding invite sent polite. Her RSVP card. Blessings from afar. Life's circle gentle. Silver wedding whispered future. Hair threaded gray elegant. Lines laugh etched deep. But touch electric unchanged. Fire Island eternal porch swing grown familiar. Ocean roar timeless, bodies dawn tangled, sighs content. Taught me well, I whispered, fingers trace her jaw familiar. Rivals to the end, she replied, kissed dawn guilt. From X's cage to art's fortune, her rival's gift profound. Celebration life's boldest stroke, embraced, enduring, eternally ours. Decades danced on, time's brush blurring edges soft, our story etched collective, books reprinted dog-eared, doc scripted indie flick raw, foundation behemoth birthing legacies legion. Sam's directorship legend, museums worldwide bearing her imprint curatorial, while my canvases commanded auctions fevered, proceeds plowed purpose. Grandkids entered frame. Riley's twins adopted rainbow toddling studio chaos, chubby fingers paint smeared, giggles echoing high. We'd babysit weekends, forts blanket draped, stories spun tall of Aunt Alex's prison princess and warrior wife. Aging crept graceful, joints creaked stair climbed, but morning's yoga adapted chairbound, her poses mirrored mine wobbly, laughter lines deepening crinkle. Travels tempered, cruises calm, ports strolled arm in arm, her tales locals charming, my sketches quick capture sunsets ablaze. Winters warmed Florida condo, palms sway hammock sway, Gulf waves lap gentle, books swapped poolside, her mysteries twisty, mine memoirs soul bared. Summer's Fire Island faithful, now with great grand echoes, dunes footprint small, bonfire stories generational. Jordan's passing came quiet, letter from co-op kin, cancer swift, her final pottery shard enclosed, glazed blue fracture mended gold. We mourned brief beach walk, ashes scattered symbolic, forgiveness full circle. Sam's health dance delicate. Checkups ritual, treatments if needed swift, but spirit unbowed, lectures jetted, her voice thunder passion. One scare sharp, hospital sterile beep, my vigil handheld, her wink weak. Not done celebrating yet. Recovery rallied us unbreakable. 50th golden, Bash Island wide, guests generations vows sunset said. From rival sparks to soulfire forever forged. Dance slow sand soft, her breath ear warm. Best lesson, joy's the masterpiece. Echoed true from X's iron to millions gleam, her rival's wisdom core. Celebrate life's every hue, bold, broken beautifully.